Welcome to the NBA Draft Room 2319. I am your host, Rashad Phillips, and today I'm going to pull the curtain back for this player. And you know I got prospects for you. Let's go! Let's play a little guessing game here. I'm going to put up the stats of the top 6 shooting guards entering the NBA draft this year. I want you to figure out which one are the name brand players and the off brand players. Good luck. So how'd you do? Be honest. Before I open the files to this fantastic prospect, I want to do a little case study with you guys at home today. As you can see, I have 2 sweaters on my table. To my right, Exhibit A is a name brand sweater price tag at $100. To my left is an off-brand sweater price tag at $50. See, when we go shopping, we're always gravitated to the name brand and what it can bring to us, without digging deeper inside to see what it really has. If we dig into this name brand sweater, I look at the tag on here, wash in cold water, made in China. Let's look at this off-brand sweater, wash in cold water, made in China. See, we have to start digging deeper and stop assuming that the name brand has more value than an off-brand. It's time you NBA GMs start drafting value over assumption. Just because you assume that this sweater is warmer, so you buy it. You assume this sweater is better fit than this one, so you buy it. You assume this sweater lasts longer than this one, so you buy it. We have to start digging deeper into these kids. Wofford's Fletcher Magee has more value than any other shooting guard in this year's draft. And I'm going to take you behind the curtains and show you why. In order to be a great shooter, you must possess a few qualities: footwork, trajectory, vision, ability, mental toughness, and sometimes playing hide and seek a bit. In this first clip against North Carolina, we're going to watch Wofford's Fletcher Magee play hide and seek with his defender. What Fletcher Magee does well here is he plants his left foot into the ground, making the defender believe he's coming off this single screen, creating about 4 feet of separation. What makes this play even more special is that the defender recovers. So on the catch, Fletcher uses his pump fake to get the defender up and uses the side step away to create space again to release his deadly jump shot. In this next clip, Wofford is running a horn set. This segment shows you how patient and cerebral Fletcher Magee is. Kids at home, if you want to be a great scorer, you got to learn your playbook. Here's a horn set with the guard exchange trying to create a switch, but this team plays it initially well. They don't switch. Now it goes into a dribble handoff and down screen for Fletcher. His ability to change speeds and initiate contact early frees him up. Fletcher is such a fantastic shooter that when he catches this ball, his feet aren't perfectly set, but he adjusts his body in mid-air on the release and finishes the shot square to the basket. It's like a cheetah tail when Fletcher shoots the ball. When cheetahs are so fast, they use their tails at top speed to keep their endurance and keep them balanced. Fletcher's kick leg operates as a cheetah tail. What's special about Magee is his rare ability to contort his body in midair on his shot, because there's a lot of times when he catches the ball, he's not square, but after he releases his shot, he's perfectly square. Watching Fletcher play off the ball is like watching a slot wide receiver in football trying to find his openings to get open. It's like watching Julian Edelman plant, sprint, and fire away. There's three things that Fletcher Magee does exceptionally well without the ball: his patience, his footwork, and his speed. This is what makes him the best jump shooter in college basketball. There's a lot of times where I use the statement, makes his teammates better. And I've had a lot of people kind of question, what does that mean when the player doesn't have high assist totals? Well, let me explain to you. Great players and great scorers like Fletcher Magee, they make their teammates better by their presence on the court. And I like to use the term play decoy or possum. For an example, if we're in a huddle, we're going to say, we're going to run a horn set for you, Fletcher, and you're going to play possum. That possum role will free up openings for the rest of your teammates, creating opportunities for them to score. That's how you make your teammates better without having to get the actual statistical assist. I'm going to show you some clips of Fletcher Magee playing decoy and allowing his teammates to flourish. The first clip I want to show you is an inbounds play against Texas Tech, who's one of the top defensive teams in the whole country. This is how Fletcher makes guys around him better. He comes off a simple single screen and he takes two defenders with him, frees up his teammate, easy bucket. Here, Cal is in a zone. Fletcher has number 21 so worried about where he's at that they give up a three-pointer to Fletcher's teammate. You can see 21 pointing, shouting, and shifting too far over because Fletcher played decoy here. Here's a classic decoy play against North Carolina. Fletcher gets number 24 to abandon his defensive principles because he's so fixated on not letting Fletch get the ball that he forgets to help rotate, which leads to another teammate getting an easy basket. What 24 should have done, and what they teach you in college, is to flatten out here and give help and drop if your teammate commits. But he'd rather give up a layup than a three-pointer to the most dangerous shooter in college basketball. I can't really blame him. Fletcher Magee is a first-round pick. And on top of that, I believe he's a better jump shooter coming out of college than JJ Redick was and Jimmer Fredette. And those guys were lottery picks. I'm going to put up a stat for you guys of Jimmer Fredette, JJ Redick, and Fletcher Magee, all their junior years, so we can compare and see who's the better shooter. Now let's start with the points. Fletcher Magee, 22.1 points a game. JJ Redick, 21.8. Fredette, 22.1. Just like Fletcher, they're tied there. Field goal percentage, 48% for Fletcher, 40% for Redick, 45% for Fredette. 3-point percentage, 43.9 for Fletch, 40.3 for JJ Redick, Fredette, 44%. Free throws, 90% Fletcher, 93% JJ Redick. Jimmer Fredette, 89%. Let's look at the totals of these guys after that season. If you look at the field goals, 253 field goals made by Fletcher Magee, 523 attempts. Fredette, 225 makes, 491 attempts. JJ Redick, 202 makes, 495 attempts. Three-pointers in a season, Fletcher Magee, 148, which led the nation this year, out of 337. Fredette only made 77 threes out of 175. And JJ Redick, I believe he's an all-time three-point shot leader in NCAA history, made 121. out of 300. Total points, Magee 751. Fredette, total points 751. JJ Redick, total points 721. So now I'm going to hear the question, well, Fletcher Magee didn't play enough against great competition. Well, hold there. Fletcher Magee played against California this season, a Pac-12 team. I think that's DeAndre Ayton's conference. 10 for 16, 7 for 12 from 3, 36 points against California. Against Texas Tech, the top defensive team in the country, he had 14 points, facing a box and one the whole game, and went 5 for 11. Against Georgia Tech, I believe that's an ACC school, he played all 40 minutes, finished with 36 points, going 12 for 22 from the field, connecting on 8 for 14 from the three-point line. They played against North Carolina. I believe that's a ACC school, a school that JJ Redick played against his career. Fletcher Magee, 27 points, 10 for 23 from the field, 4 for 12 from the three-point line. I want to share a fun fact with you guys. There's not one player in the first round mock draft or entering the draft that is a 45, 40, 90 player. 45% from the field goal, 40% from three, 90% from the three-point. Fletcher Magee is the only 45, 40, 90 guy in the draft. Now, the more and more I watch Fletcher on tape, he's an NBA first round pick. There's things, no, he's not going to wow you with his speed, his vertical leap, his strength. But what he's going to do, he's going to shoot the blood out of the ball. He's going to keep the defense honest. And your superstars, for whatever franchise who drafts him, will love playing with him because he keeps the defense honest. There's a reason why guys like Kyle Korver and JJ Redick, those guys are still relevant and very productive NBA players today, because the NBA always values the jump shooter. If you tend to draft Fletcher Magee, you will be very happy, and you may be inheriting the best college basketball shooter we've ever seen. It's time to stop overlooking kids with great ability. Just because the school across their chest doesn't match the media platforms and what they're advertising. Fletcher Magee is the best jump shooter in college basketball, no matter how you slice this. There's not one player in this entire mock draft that can come remotely close to the shooter this kid is. Yet and still, he's being overlooked for players who don't have his name nor stats. This is where the NBA has continued to fail year after year. So many kids fall by the wayside because you fail to do your homework. Don't be so consumed at the top combing through expensive clothes instead of looking at clothes on the other rack that have just as much value or maybe even more. Stop being so fixated to the point where you ignore what's actually there. Dig deeper.